I'm Mindy Peterson, host of Enhanced Life with Music podcast, and this is Microhance, a microdose of musical enhancement. I have always been intrigued by the impact of music on movies. In fact, the very first episode of this podcast was about the role music plays in movie trailers. When my kids were growing up, I would drive them crazy whenever we were watching movies by providing commentary like, "Notice the bad guy music just started playing. Imagine how you'd expect something totally different to happen next if playful music was playing." That awareness about what music is really doing beneath the surface and how it affects the film viewer's experience is at the heart of a fabulous documentary I recently watched and highly recommend. It's called Music by John Williams, the man behind the maestro. And it does such a beautiful job of showcasing not just the power of film music, but the profound way music shapes story, emotion, memory, and even history and future culture. This film isn't only about an icon of movie music. It's also about the evolution of 20th century American film music itself. John Williams didn't just write memorable themes, he helped elevate film scoring from what was once considered a kind of journeyman craft into the work of a true master artisan. And part of that depth came from personal tragedy, from life experience, and from bringing something deeply human into the music. George Lucas puts it bluntly in the film. He said, "I truly believe that the soundtrack is half of the movie. Star Wars basically would not be Star Wars without Johnny Williams' music." Christopher Reeve echoed that sentiment when he said, "I owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to John Williams. Without his music, Superman's powers are greatly diminished." One of the most moving moments in the documentary centers on Schindler's List. John Williams told Steven Spielberg that the film was so powerful, it needed a better composer than he was. Spielberg replied, "I know, but they're all dead." After hearing Williams' first musical sketches for that movie, Spielberg said he had never been so emotionally devastated by music so simple, melodic, soulful, and anguished. He called it a mitzvah, saying that Williams had honored the story of the Shoah through music. That word choice alone tells you how deeply this score transcended cinema. The documentary doesn't shy away from the resistance Williams faced. For years, film music was regarded by much of the classical music world as a bastard art. That attitude even contributed to Williams' resignation as conductor of Boston Pops. And yet, over time, Williams helped blur those artificial lines so completely that today, dismissing film music as lesser simply doesn't hold credibility. When you step back and look at his output, it's staggering. Jaws, Home Alone, Jurassic Park, Lincoln, Harry Potter, not to mention multiple Olympic themes. We're talking jazz, orchestral, opera, comedy, horror, fantasy, history. Genre-defying is an understatement. One piece that especially stood out to me is Hymn to the Fallen, written for Saving Private Ryan. The documentary notes that this song has become one of the most requested works throughout the entire U.S. military because it embodies the deepest reverence and respect for those who have laid down their lives on the altar of freedom. That's music doing more than accompanying images. That's music becoming a vessel for remembrance, music serving as an offering. On a lighter note, Williams' themes have become so embedded in our culture that they show up everywhere in The Simpsons, Family Guy, commercials. His music is no longer just soundtrack, it's become part of our cultural DNA. The documentary ends with John Williams saying something that feels like both a blessing and a challenge. He says, music is enough for a lifetime, but a lifetime is not enough for music. And after watching this film, I couldn't agree more. Because when music enhances story this deeply, it doesn't just accompany or support an experience, it deepens our humanity. And what we remember most isn't what we saw, it's what we felt. And music is the vehicle for giving those feelings form. I'm Mindy Peterson, and I hope this inspires you to enhance your life with music. I'm always looking for the best ways to support holistic health and well-being through music and beyond. So when I learned about all natural products created by a holistic biologic dentist, I had to try them out. Did you know that chemicals in commercial mouthwash and toothpaste can be absorbed through the oral tissues even if you don't swallow the product? One of my favorite Living Well with Dr. Michelle products is the Remineralizing Mouthwash. It's alcohol-free, so it won't dry out your mouth. And instead of harsh chemicals, it uses colloidal silver to help balance oral bacteria. It's infused with peppermint oil to freshen your breath naturally, and it contains hydroxyapatite, the very mineral your enamel is made of, to support strong teeth and reduce sensitivity. I also love their sensitive remineralizing tooth powder, but I couldn't resist trying their brand new toothpaste. It's not officially labeled for sensitivity, but it's made with microhydroxyapatite, which many people, myself included, find reduces sensitivity. For natural, effective oral care products and 10% off, go to livingwellwithdrmichelle.com and use coupon code MUSICENHANCES10. Link is in the show notes.